So I want to show something really cool with this blue and red deck of cards that I have right here. These two decks of cards are actually connected, and I'm going to show you how. I'm going to need you to select a card first, though, so just call out stop whenever you want. So let's say you stop right here. You're going to take a look at whatever card this is. All right? And so I am going to need to lose this somewhere within the pack. That way I have no idea where it will end up. So I'm going to cut the cards a few times. Now I'm going to need you to call out stop again. And this time, so let's say you stop right there. I'm going to go about 5 cards down because 1 out of 52 is a bit difficult. So just make it a bit easier on myself. And I'm going to go through these 5 cards one by one. And whenever you see your card, just make note of it. And I'm going to go by rather slowly. That way there's no chance that you're going to miss where your card might be. Now, if you saw your card there, that's great. So out of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards, let's see if I just snap the cards like that. Hopefully 1 card vanishes from the 5. And it just so happens to be your card. But remember how I said that these 2 decks of cards were connected? And they're only connected once you take them outside of the box. So if I remove this red deck of cards here and spread through it slowly, that way you know I'm not trying to do anything, you'll notice that there's 1 card face up out of this entire red pack. And if this truly did come from the blue deck, then this 8 of hearts would also have a blue back. But they're only connected once they're outside of the box. If I put this red pack back inside of its box, they're no longer connected. So if that means if I spread through these cards, you'll see that the 8 of hearts has returned to the blue pack. And it just so happens to also have the blue back. Hello everyone, welcome back. So I hope you enjoyed the performance of that little routine involving the Brainwave deck, and I want to talk about that more later, but first I have several updates to give. First off, for most of you wondering, where have I been for the past 2 months now? And that is because I probably should have mentioned that I was going on vacation from college, just spending the with family and whatnot, and just taking a break from school because it's exhausting. I definitely should have mentioned that because if I recall in my last video, I mentioned that I was going to have an upload schedule every Wednesday, and I failed at that horrendously, as you can see. However, today's Wednesday, at least as I'm filming this, hopefully it uploads today, but I will be sticking to the upload schedule. Now that I am back here, I'm going to be putting a bit more time into these videos and everything because I do want to produce quality content, or as high quality as I can go, being a college student. That is the first update. The second update is that for those of you who have noticed, I changed my channel name. The reason being, and let me get into a bit more backstory of that, is I never really realized how or I wanted to put myself out there on YouTube. I just wanted to put videos out here for fun, and I realized that I had to have some name, I suppose. And so what I came up with is the term Odyssey is meant to symbolize some sort of long and arduous journey. And so I kind of just, and for this channel represents for me simply just showcasing my journey throughout learning card magic and simply just learning the art of performing. And so I just kind of put it as one, Magic and Odyssey. And so it really spoke to me, and that's something, and it took a while for me to figure that out. And so I'm really glad I was just able to think of something. So that being the second update, and that is really it. I will be uploading every single Wednesday, but now I'm going to go ahead and talk more about the performance of that trick. Now, the Brainwave deck is a gimmick deck by Bicycle. I will not go too much into explaining the secrets of it because I'm not really one to reveal things like that. But I do want to talk about simply how you might want to use it for those who have the Brainwave deck, because I personally love it. The effect in itself is simple. You have a red deck of cards, and your spectator is able to simply call out a card, and you're able to show that that card is not only face up, but it's the opposite color. So I actually really like that effect. I believe it's a really strong effect. It's up there with something like the Invisible deck. Now, how I've used it is, for those of you who know the Biddle trick, it is simply a trick involving where, as you saw in the performance, the spectator would select a card, and then you would show that you have 5 cards, and you would go through them, and their card would hopefully be there. But once you spread through them again, one's vanished, and it's just so happened to be their card, and their card reappears. I believe it's reappears just face up in the pack. So I think it's actually a very nice effect. So what I took with the Brainwave deck is I combined that using the Biddle trick, because I thought it just added another level of sort of anticipation for the spectator, because they realize that not only does their card vanish, but it vanishes in another, sealed pack of cards that has been right in front of them the entire time. And what's especially good, sort of the ending, is where you can close the Brainwave deck right back up and it'll reappear in the blue deck again. So I actually thought that was really cool. That's how I came up with it. In terms of practicality, I would say the Brainwave deck, it's definitely not, like with most gimmick decks, it's not something that you can hand out for inspection to your spectator, because it simply would give it away. But I think your spectator is going to be amazing enough to where you can just kind of put the cards away and, hope that they don't ask for it. But yes, so in a practical sense, definitely can't be handed out for inspection, but still, I think the effect itself is worth it. I'm obviously one for a good impromptu trick, especially one where you end off clean. You can hand things out for inspection, but I think the Brainwave deck, the effect that it gives, makes up for it. And so far, that's really all I have to point out for it. Any other suggestions for the Brainwave deck that I've sort of come up with? It can be as simple as just having a blue card that you present it to them, and you would make it vanish in whatever way you want, whether it's a color change or just really any other technique you can come up with. But if you do want to incorporate another deck of cards, specifically the opposing color, then you would just simply have to perform some small trick, anything that would involve just one of these blue cards vanishing. That way you can have it reappear into the red deck or Brainwave deck. So I've been rambling for a bit, but that's really it with the Brainwave deck. So upload schedule every single Wednesday, and thank you so much for sticking with me after I've been gone for 2 months or so. I really do appreciate that, guys. And yeah, that's really it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time.